What's going on?
Now, with all the things that you have going on, like from, the radio, the TV,
Right.
everything, and I'm pretty sure there's other things that you have on your plate right now
Right.
that you haven't even mentioned.
Right.
How has your career allowed you to do the things that you may or may not have done before?
How's my career allowed me? Oh, okay. Shit, being able to travel a couple years ago, had some, good times to be, overseas. You know what I'm saying? And my man and I and my assistant Bella and my man Big C, we had the opportunity. That was around the time, I just got introduced, to my co-owner, Al Williams. We had a chance to really go overseas and see how things was popping overseas and in Europe, and see how this how I could really brand my name out there and take, my companies and brand it out there and market it out there. So we started a publication out there, Exquisite, saying, well, actually we started it here in the States and we wanted to put it out there, and we ain't got the money for it out there, and they hit us with the good paper to distribute it out there. So it was like, yo, we got to set this up at the time. And I remember seeing a couple other clothing companies, pop up that was already, overseas too, like Bathe and Ape and a couple of other ones. They was already popping up out there. So it was like, yo, we got to come out there too and come get this paper. You know what I mean? And I had a friend of mine who kept telling me, yo, you got to think about going overseas. You got to go overseas. You got to go overseas. So went overseas, did like 2 shows, and at the same time we was doing business. It was like, yo, it was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It was beautiful. So that's really where, the market was at. And that's what has allowed me to do it. This has allowed me to really see things beyond what the average can see. You know what I'm saying? And to see things outside of the states and how to maneuver outside of these states and really how to build a brand outside of these states and compound the brand, outside of these states. So that's really what, my career has allowed me to do. And to take care of those, that, the loved ones and everything, to give people that is on the team a good life, you know what I'm saying? And allow them to enjoy life and do the things that they want to do.
Now, with your, with you being on the radio, and did you do anything that was associated with radio? Like some of the radio personalities, they host for people, or they do certain events, and like they do hosting.
I'm here.
Just events like that.
Wait, hit me with that question again. Let's go back with that question so I can really get it in. I had to get something.
As the being an on-air personality in radio.
Okay.
Have you done any type of projects like hosting for certain events?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Outside of the radio.
Yeah. Let's go. We was talking about hate earlier, right? We was talking about hate. Let's get into it. My man C, a few years back, decided that we was getting money from doing a lot of other things, from like events, from music, and from just radio. So he was like, yo, you know what, man, let's get into this hosting gig, man. So he came up with an idea. He went and did the research, and he went and networked, hit me with it, and said, yo, B, listen, we gonna shut it down. So I said, all right, let's shut it down. He winds up getting me an opportunity to host for Steve Harvey. You know what I'm saying, the legendary Steve Harvey. And I did it at the Bob Carr in Orlando, Florida. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I hosted for, that gentleman, and that was another turning point. You know what I'm saying? We had our street team out there, and it was crazy. Just meeting that brother and getting into that whole hosting situation and just rocking out there hard was what we needed to do, and that was cool. Like that was real cool for what I was trying to do. And I held it down. Now you asked me earlier about the hate situation, man. Wow, man. I think when people see that you are moving in a situation that they can't move at that speed, or they can't think in the direction that you're thinking in, and that all comes from me being a New Yorker. At the end of the day, they felt some type of way. Me and my man, we didn't care. We went out there, got that money. I'm chilling with Mr. Steve Harvey. We cooling at the Bob Carr where the Orlando Magic play, and I'm doing my thing. and that was cool. You know what I'm saying? So that was that. You know what I'm saying? So I really I enjoyed that whole situation. I enjoyed that whole situation.
Now, with that situation, did that kind of, put the fire underneath you to do
To host?
right?
Yeah, definitely. I posted a few events since then. Numerous parties and different events. But I'm really, right now my thing is they got me booked to do some like golf tournaments, stuff like that. So I'm really getting into that. A lot more charity events I'm doing. I also started my own charity. You know what I'm saying? The Brandon Michaels fund and stuff like that. So we got a lot of things popping off with that. And right now, Elle Williams is really, since she's also my manager as well as co-owner, she's doing a lot of different bookings and getting me into that realm of hosting. In a different avenue. So I'm not straying away from a certain scope, but I'm jumping into a different line of scope. Like me, I like to try things, see how it is, and if it's good, I'll stick with it. You know what I'm saying? And go on with it. If it's not, I could always say I tried that. You know what I'm saying? Boom, 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 whatever. Give them 100, keep it moving.
Now, you strike me as a young man in this industry that is like so different from, I guess, the standard that you see today, or that you've seen in the last couple of years. And a lot of the things that you see is, they're talking about their houses, and they're talking about, how much money they've made, or, they have more jewelry on than what's even necessary. And I'm looking at you, you have on some nice earrings, you have on a nice watch. I don't know if anybody was able to see the watch, but you have on a really nice watch. What is it for you? I mean, that's simple. So what is it for you that allows you to be different from the norm, I guess you can say, of the people in this industry today?
Family values. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people. Okay, I look at it this way. You got some people that had hardship growing up. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as they get a chance to shine, they do. You can't knock them for that. Like I don't knock them. You know what I'm saying? I don't knock them for that. What I do not like is these people that perpetuate something and give and sell false images to people, and it's like you can't even do this or do that or pay your rent or your mortgage or you this, and people see you in the streets. You're not like that. You financially you're not built like that. And to me, my man and I always talked about it. We was on something different. We was on some we don't want to go back. We don't want to regress. We want to progress. You know what I'm saying? And we want to go forward, and we want to show some type of not some type, but definitely a strong advancement. So my whole thing was, what? I was just more so into it, and I think for me, and it goes back, like I said, I was saying, values and your morals and your ethics, hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a time, it wasn't always cool to front. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, that seems the thing with these cats. They front. You know what I mean? Like you said, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really into all of that. I'm more into building my brand, my companies. I think I do set myself apart from the average, not purposely. I think that's just who I am, and definitely what I've allowed myself not to become, and who I surround myself with. I surround myself with the people that I built these companies with. I surround myself with people that don't kiss my ass, and we all love each other, and we understand one another, and we know what this is about. And as long as everybody has what they need to have, and shit, your lights is on, and you can take care of you and yours, your kids or your families. That's what this was kind of about. You know what I mean? That's all it was, and that was the laws, and that was the laws of this whole blueprint. For me, that's what everything was about. The whole blueprint. It wasn't about fun.